Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending my session. And most importantly, thank you to Risk Awareness Week for having me. This is a great conference, and it's a true honor to be here. My presentation is not about modeling, it's not about math, data, AI, or methodologies. It's about something that's just as important as those topics. And I feel like this is the part where I really should say something inspiring, like every risk program I've ever run has been successful. But I will admit, I'll be the first to admit that my very first quantitative risk program totally bombed. And that's what this talk is about. It's about beyond the model, the mental shifts that make quantification stick. And that's exactly what this talk is about. So the theme of the talk is about getting your program to stick and get longevity out of it. And getting it to stick is not about math, it's about mindset. So first, just a really quick introduction to me. So my name is Tony Martin Vegi, and I am writing a book right now. It's called From Heat Maps to Histograms, a practical guide to cyber risk quantification. And if you haven't guessed, I work in the technology risk, cyber risk field. I've been in IT and information security for about 25 years now. I most recently built out the cyber risk quantification program at Netflix. When I first started, there really wasn't much of anything, maybe a couple hours spent in an Excel spreadsheet, a couple hours a quarter just to show the auditors that we can pass NIST CSF. And then fast forward 6 years later, there's a fully fledged cyber risk quantification program in which we've run. Um, Last time I counted, it was over 3,000 quantitative risk assessments in the technology risk area. So I learned a lot in that area in that time. I just left Netflix about 3 years ago, and now I do cyber risk consulting, advisory, training. Um, and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area in California. And I actually live on a small island in the Bay, not Alcatraz, but I have swum from Alcatraz to San Francisco 10 times. So if you're familiar with David Letterman, the old talk show host from a while back, he has that segment called Stupid Human Tricks. And that's my stupid human trick. So, my book is about cyber risk quantification, of course. It will be out in early 2026, and it will be available anywhere books are sold. And you can learn more at heatmapstohistograms.com. I also have my LinkedIn profile down at the bottom and my email. Feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have any questions about this talk or you just want to chat about cyber risk or really for any reason. I'm always happy to talk. Okay, so my very first risk quantification program failed. Um, It worked pretty well in the beginning for the first couple years or so, but it pretty much fell apart when I left. And it was never really as successful as I wanted it to be. And in that time, I've done a lot of soul searching about why did that fail? I also talked to a lot of people who've had very successful and very unsuccessful cyber risk quantification programs. And I've also run some very successful ones in my subsequent uh, organizations. And I've tried to figure out why did that first one fail. And I think that the main problem is I was focused on the technical risk modeling of actors, of threat actors, and assets and vectors, methods of attack, that kind of thing. And I spent all of my time on the modeling piece, on the quantification piece. And I ignored the executives. I ignored the executive understanding of a lot of different concepts, mostly probability, but also the concepts of uncertainty, which, us risk managers, I think maybe we take for granted that everybody knows what uncertainty is, but some people don't, and some people aren't really aware of that concept. So, um, the the executives didn't really understand Monte Carlo. They didn't understand probability. So